Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. Today we're going to take a look at Kenny's $1 million collection, and that's a literal $1 million collection. And we're going to start at the more economical end of Kenny's collection with a Rolex Daytona. And with the brown and that light blue, that is a beautiful watch. Never been a big fan of the Daytona, but I like this one a whole lot. It's just a gorgeous watch, and I really like it. Okay, let's go on now. The next three on this page are all Audemars Piguet, and they're all Royal Oak offshore. I want to say overseas. That's wrong contentee. Whoops. Okay, these are all Royal Oak offshore. And one of the things I've always liked about the Royal Oak, it's sort of a little quirky thing, but notice how the screws around I guess it would be the bezel, on the bezel, how they're all angled toward the center. And I was looking at some used ones, and some of them had them crooked and all cockeyed and everything like that. So if you're looking for an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak or Royal Oak offshore, check out those screws. But you can see it all Kenny's are perfectly aligned, and they're all pointing to the middle. Okay, now, if we look at the first one in the upper right corner and the next one in the lower left, uh, they're the same. They're they're just Royal Oak offshore. Two different colors, two different kinds of occasions where you need a different colored Royal Oak offshore. Both of them are very nice examples. The light blue. This would be a great summer watch, and the darker one would be more, perhaps even a little formal. Okay, now for it turns out this may be the most costly watch in the whole collection. This is a Royal Oak offshore tourbillon, and it is gorgeous. They're right just north of $300,000. Is a list price new. Um, was it most tourbillons. I'm not a big tourbillon. I don't have anything for them or against them, one way or the other. But they're neat. I mean, they're a watchmaker's a really standard of watchmaking excellence. And this one is is skeletonized, and so you can see a lot of the insides of it. And it's a real beauty. I mean, it's an expensive beauty, but that thing is really an amazing watch. Okay, now that we're off the bottom, if you could say that, I don't think that tourbillon is. All right, let's take a look at the next group in Kenny's collection, and we come to the Patek Philippe's. And the gold Patek Philippe up at the top up there is a Nautilus, and there's not a lot I can say about it that you can't see. It's a gorgeous one, and it looks like the kind of thing, again, with a Patek Philippe. Even though it's their sports watch, I think you could wear one of those things anywhere. I was on a cruise last summer. Some guy had it was either white gold or stainless steel Nautilus, and that thing was gorgeous. God, it's a gorgeous watch. I never thought much of them until I saw one in person, and that was really something. A gold one, it's really something. Now this next one is one of my favorites in the collection, and this is the collection of favorites, and it's a Grand Complications. And it has the perpetual calendar, moon phase, and again, this is a gorgeous watch. These are they are come at a very dear price, I might add. And not much more I can say. It's a beautiful watch. Um, at the bottom on the left, the you have the Nautilus with a moon phase. And notice on this one, there's a power reserve indicator at about between 10 and 11 o'clock. And then there's also, the moon phase is sort of tucked away in the subdial on the left. And this is a very cool watch. I mean, it's again, it's another Nautilus, and it's a different one. It's got a blue face instead of black or white, which I guess would be the main colors that they have. And gorgeous watch. Now, in the on the bottom row, the other one is a chronograph, annual calendar. You can see I ran out of space, so I couldn't make my labels complete. Uh, but this is a Patek Philippe chronograph. Now, normally when you think about chronographs, you think about something like an Omega Speedmaster or something like that. And but this is a very, very nice chronograph with an annual calendar on it. Can things get any better than this? let's, let's continue with Kenny's collection. Okay, well, there's one more Patek Philippe Nautilus. This is uh, a white gold version of the gold version that we just saw. It's pretty much the same watch, but it's in silver color rather than gold. Okay, now we come to the Langenzuna, and these three are really nice. Now there are two datograph flybacks. They're not the up and down, but they're they're really something. Um, on the top, the datograph flyback has a white face, great for daytime, nighttime, and anywhere in between. I think that thing is really beautiful. And Kenny's got another one with a black dial. That's exactly the same, except that it's got a black dial. They're both flybacks. They're both gorgeous watches. The black one is in platinum, and um, the other one is in white gold. I'm not white gold, but gold. Just gold. I don't know. I'm not sure whether that's pink or not. All right. Now at the bottom corner down there is another one of my favorites. This is a collection of favorites, sort of a collection of grails. Is a Lang 1 time zone, and the Lang 1 time zone is a traveler's dream. When you look at that, it's really gorgeous. It's got a mechanical wind to it, and you can see the power reserve indicator between about 2 and 3 o'clock. And the dual time, you can see that at that's in the subdial at the bottom, and then the main dial you have another time, so you can have dual times. Of course, you have a nice big date calendar as well, and then around the bezel or inside the bezel, you can see on the dial, you can see the different cities that are set relative to their time. That, to me, I think of all of these watches, that is my very favorite. And like I said, this is a collection of favorites. Now, um, Kenny is in the jewelry business, and in fact, something else too. Kenny and I both went to the University of California at Santa Barbara, and his collection is a little different than mine. And like I said, and so he really knows what he's getting and where to get the very best, and I think that this is reflected in his collection. Um, Now, at one time, I guess I had these, I put these all together. I'd be here all day talking about Kenny's collection if I took each one of these out. Um, I think he worked with Panerai at one time, and he was had a has a very impressive collection of Panerai. I'm simply pointing that out to that this is Kenny's been doing this for a while, and he's got very knowledgeable guy as far as these watches are concerned. Okay, well, here is a collection that, um, if anybody asked me, well, what should I do to improve it? I'm not really sure. I think instead of having two different colors of the same watch, like the two A-Lange flybacks, or there are a couple Nautiluses that seem to be the same except for different models or different colors, is to maybe think about trying some of the other brands that are of the same level. Maybe some of the independents like FP Journe, um, Ferret, I can never say it right. Laurent Ferrier, his stuff is really beautiful, and some of his designs look like they're somewhere between an Audemars Piguet and a Patek Philippe Nautilus. There are really some very interesting ones that sort of in between there. Of course, they're beautiful watches, and they have fantastic movements. Now, again, I don't know. As a jewelry dealer, Kenny may have certain arrangements with the ones that his main part of his collection, but it's interesting to really, at least to me. I don't know if it is to Kenny or not. He deals in watches all the time, so he knows them backwards and forwards. But um, some of the kinds of things I think with mechanical watches that go in other directions. This is my resonance. I think I had a big thing on that. Something like that, or perhaps that another one too. I think that might be really interesting for Kenny, and it is an Alangenson. Is it's called a Fusee and Chain. That would be an interesting watch to have, I think. But again, like I said, Kenny knows watches pretty well. He doesn't need any advice from me. Okay, listen. What do you think? I mean, you go put your jaw back up and leave a comment. And I'd like to hear from you. I really would. And again, we could take any one of these watches and spend the entire time talking about it, because it's such an incredible group of watches that you can look at them and say, wow, that's a neat watch. But each one of them is much richer than the time that I have allotted for a watch review. Okay, so let's hear from you, and I'd like to hear your opinion. What do you think? And maybe you say, hey, Kenny, did you ever think of this? This might give Kenny some ideas. I don't know if it would or not. But there you go. And if you'd like to subscribe, this is an invitation. All right, so we'll see you next Friday with our regular videos on watches. And until then, this is Bill Sanders of WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection.